Before Light Falls. A story by Stephen Creeks. Read for free at stephencreeks.com.
Chapter 4. I finally stepped out of the OR. I still had the smell of disinfectant in my throat and the unpleasant sensation that my legs weren't really responding anymore. 2 hours in there, watching Daniels fight like a man possessed, the sound of the heart monitor rising and falling like a bad omen, the blood I had all over me, and that shitty noise, the electric saw. Another goddamn amputation, a butchery, and I'd lived through a few in Korea. Except here, it wasn't a comrade lying on the table, it was a stranger pulled from an unknown machine that had crashed in Henderson. A guy dressed like an alien from Amazing Stories, speaking perfect English. In the hallway, Morris was pacing with a cigarette stuck to his lip. It couldn't have been his first. A light haze filled the whole wing. As soon as he spotted me, he rushed over.
Well?
Colonel, he went into cardiac arrest right in the middle. Daniels managed to bring him back. We had to amputate both legs. If he makes it through the night, Daniels thinks he might pull through.
Did he say anything?
No, nothing. He's been unconscious since we pulled him out of the spaceship.
Spaceship, huh? Is that what you call that craft?
I don't know. Looks like it came out of a science fiction comic book.
I'd love to be in the middle of a dream, Grant, or a nightmare, but that's not the case.
He took a long drag on his cigarette, eyes fixed on the OR door.
And then NASA. He said he came from NASA. What the hell is that?
I haven't the slightest idea.
Daniels burst out of the operating room in turn, gown stained with blood, features drawn. He hadn't stopped since yesterday, and when he was done with the living, he would move on to the autopsies. I wouldn't want to be in his shoes for anything in the world.
Captain, your report.
Daniels nodded, wiped sweat from his forehead with his forearm.
The surgery went as well as it could have. Patient was in shock, very weak pulse on admission. The legs were unsalvageable. Multiple compound fractures, necrosis setting in, massive tissue crushing. Nothing to be done. We amputated above the knee to avoid systemic infection. During the procedure, he went into cardiac arrest, asystole for about 30 seconds, massage, adrenaline injection. He came back. Since then, he's stable, but his condition remains critical.
And, aside from the legs?
Nothing. No internal injuries, no burns, no head trauma. He's in excellent health. If you ignore, well, you know. Someone who goes through a crash like that should be in pieces. He has less damage than a guy falling off a step stool. If that cabinet hadn't fallen on him, I bet he would have walked out of the ship on his own 2 legs. He's breathing on his own. Rhythm is good. If he makes it through the next 8 hours without a hitch, he has a real chance of making it.
And, in your opinion, did you notice anything peculiar? I mean, is he a human being?
At first glance, yes, human, without a doubt, but...
Daniels made a vague gesture as if to say, it's complicated.
His tissues. There's something. When we amputated, the muscle texture was denser than normal. Not pathological, not traumatic, just more compact, as if his whole body was reinforced. I've never seen that. We had to give him a transfusion. He's compatible, but his blood, it's darker, more viscous. Nothing pathological, nothing toxic. Simply not quite like ours. I took a blood sample. I'll run the analysis as soon as I have a moment in the lab. Maybe we'll know more. I wouldn't say it's extraterrestrial. It's more like he was calibrated to take a lot more punishment than us. A lot more. So yes, he's a human being, but a human being improved or adapted. I don't have a better word.
A super soldier?
Yes, in a way, a super soldier.
Daniels let his gaze drift for a moment. He looked drained.
Colonel, permission to be dismissed. I still have bodies to examine.
Morris nodded. Daniels nodded back and disappeared through the door leading out of the infirmary. The colonel stayed silent for a moment, then turned to me.
Grant, you have a reputation for keeping your mouth shut. Am I wrong?
That's what they say. And that's what I do.
Good. Then keep everything I'm about to say to yourself. Strictly to yourself. You follow me?
Yes, Colonel.
I've already heard about certain projects. Improving the physical and mental condition of soldiers. The CIA is digging into that, supposedly. How to make a man more resistant. How to take radiation. That kind of crap.
I thought that was bullshit.
No. There are very serious guys working on it. But no one has gone this far. Modifying muscle texture, blood viscosity, reinforcing an organism to that point. No. No one, on our side, knows how to do that. You want my opinion? This man comes from the future, like his machine. Yes, I know. Completely crazy. But it's the only explanation that holds water. And this NASA sounds like a military acronym, something like NSA, NATO. They invent an agency for us every other day. So why not NASA? An agency that doesn't exist yet. I don't know a damn thing.
He took a last puff, crushed the cigarette under his heel.
One thing is sure. I hope he wakes up, and that we can talk to him.
With everything that had happened, Peterson's death, the crashed craft, this man, I had forgotten the other crash site, Site A, the one where the plane had exploded. I asked Morris if he had any news. He stayed silent for a moment, gaze lost on the opposite wall, where Smith had pinned up the pin-up of the month, Miss Tahiti. At that moment we were 1,000 miles away from ukuleles and palm trees.
The other craft disintegrated. Nothing left but burning debris on the ground. Firefighters are still on site, but the fire is contained. They did good work. A team is sweeping the zone, just in case. At least we didn't have any casualties over there. And what worries me is the radioactivity. There's a lot of it. Not just around sites A and B. Henderson was hit too. Geiger counters picked up spikes between 100 and 150 Röntgens in places. And that's not all. The snow that fell earlier wasn't snow. It was radioactive ash, probably thrown up by the plane that crashed.
At that moment, I wasn't thinking about the soldiers on the base, nor the residents of Henderson. I wasn't even thinking about myself. I saw Clara standing in front of the gym, that black snow clinging to her white dress. She had been exposed too. That filth was bound to contaminate her. We had been briefed on the doses a man can take before dying, but that was theory. Here it was her. And I was afraid. Afraid of what was going to happen to her. Morris looked at me for a long time, eyes tired.
Grant, it's been a hard day. We lost comrades. You, go get some rest. That's an order. If the wounded man starts talking, I want you operational. And I want you to assist him during his recovery. You're the one he saw first. If we want to get anything out of him, he'll need to trust someone. And for now, that someone is you.
Yes, Colonel.
He saluted me. I saluted back. Then he added, turning away.
At ease. Get out of here.
Stepping out of the infirmary, the air hit me all at once. Not the usual air, a taste of metal, a breath of ash, of burnt pine. In the distance, you could still see the last glow of the fire. The firefighters were battling it, without knowing that the fire they were fighting was perhaps already poisoning them. Absurd, I thought, walking toward my barracks. Like everything else, it felt like a goddamn nightmare. Even Morris's explanation didn't hold up. A traveler from the future, an American who wasn't from our time. An astronaut crashed here, in Henderson, the ass end of the world. If I hadn't been there, never would I have believed such a story. I pushed open the barracks door without making a sound. No one. The room was bathed in semi-darkness, lit only by the yellow glow of a bulb hanging over the hallway. The beds were empty, blankets pulled every which way. A disorder that didn't look like the usual. I could still smell the scent of ash on my clothes, a mix of cold smoke, metal, and something else, as if this day had stuck to my skin. I put my helmet on the bedside table. My hands were shaking a little, not from fear, from fatigue. A heavy, thick fatigue, the kind that falls when the adrenaline finally lets go. I stood there for a moment just listening. Silence, not a breath, not a snore. Even the old radiator had gone quiet. I sat on my bed, elbows on knees, head in my hands. I could feel my temples throbbing, as if my body wanted to remind me I was still alive. Closing my eyes, I saw Clara again in her waitress uniform from the Main Street diner, her smile, her voice, that look that made me forget the rest of the world. I would have given a lot to go back and have another chance. A night without explosions, without military everywhere, without black snow. Just a beautiful August night, just the two of us. In that reality, Peterson would have teased me seeing the idiot smile that only love can stick on a man's face. I had to hold on, calm this damn heart, control this fear circulating in me like a slow poison. That's when I went under, not into sleep, into a coma, without even realizing it.
Sergeant! Sergeant! Wake up!
Damn, not possible. I must have closed my eyes for 2 seconds, and that voice, I knew it too well.
Mitchell? Damn it, what do you want? I'm trying to sleep. What's going on?
I lifted my wrist, my watch. Almost 7 o'clock. 3 hours of sleep, like I had just closed my eyes. Mitchell was red, out of breath, as if he had run across the entire base. He had to catch his breath before blurting out,
Sergeant, it's the Colonel. He sent me to get you. He is waking up.